this is Sunniva.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Revive Call of the Abyss from Ported Games, the expansion to one of our favorite games from last year. Now there's an expansion, and hopefully it's good. That's what we're going to tell you about in this video. We haven't really done a lot of expansion reviews. We've done quite a few ones because we don't play that many expansions, yet we have quite a few expansions on the shelves here and there. So yeah, this is not going to be like the normal review where we go through all of the components and player count and all of that. This is just going to be like a review of the expansion.
Yes,
obviously.
Makes sense.
It's going to be kind of like we're going to go through the stuff that's in the expansion and we're going to talk about them, which would make sense to people who usually watch board game videos. If this is your first board game video, hello, welcome to Board Games. Weird that an expansion for a game is your first video, but if it is, welcome to this weird thing. Just first of all, one thing I want to update, because people are always like asking, is a game fun after a year and stuff like that? We have not now gotten the privilege of playing Revive more, because that's like my favorite part of expansions, is getting an excuse or actually taking time to play games that we like. So I'm going to ask you a question before we start the review part. Is Revive still fun?
Yes, it is. I thought it was really fun to play it again after I think over a year. Almost a year.
Around a year, because we played it before Spiel,
and it's still super solid.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to ask you something now, just because this is not planned. I mean, everything is scripted. You gave Revive a 9 out of 10 last year.
Yes.
Would you stand by that rating?
Easily.
Stand by me.
Yes, easily.
Yes, and I'm standing by my 10 out of 10. And you are looking for squirrels. Go and check that review. But yeah, Revive. Call of the Abyss. Did you not take your own reference?
No.
You even had a banner which said, look, there's a squirrel.
Yeah, I thought you said scroll, like Marvel.
Scroll. That's a squirrel.
And I was
That's weird.
What are you talking about?
English isn't my native mother language. I'm just saying words, and I hope it makes sense.
But just a disclaimer, we have been provided this copy from the publisher, and we also know the designers of the game.
Yes, so just
and
so
also
you know
this expansion. Yeah.
Yes, we know we don't know them anymore. Who are they? We don't know. Okay, so we're going to talk about the expansion now.
Yes.
Basically, there is some new stuff in this expansion box. We're going to start by talking about... It's not all stuff.
Nothing in here. We were so disappointed.
1 out of 10, there was nothing in the box. Now, we are going to start by talking about the four new factions that are in the game. I'm going to show them, and you can tell me a little bit about them.
Okay, cool.
Or I have played with it, so you can tell the people on the interwebs a little bit about them. First off, we have this one called Kairos.
Yes, it is a cat, and it has a night-day mechanism that you're switching in between, and it basically provides different abilities depending on if it's night or day. So that was neat.
So it kind of has 6 different abilities instead of 3. We're not going to go. This is not going to be like a detailed review of each of these.
No, this is as deep as it goes.
Yeah, basically these 4 are going to give you more variability. That's kind of the thing. I'm going to talk more later about if you think it's enough variability or if you like these factions. Then we have this guy or person. It's actually a machine, I think, called Ostorius.
Yes, and that is kind of a mole with portals that can block range for other people, but it can also make range easier for other people depending on if the portal is open or closed. And it takes up 3 spaces on the board, and what you cover up, like terrain-wise, makes you go up on the tracks, which I thought was really interesting to play with.
Because the tracks are cool.
When I played with another faction afterwards, I was looking for like these triangles. I was like, no, that is not relevant anymore.
That's always interesting when you play, especially the first time you play a game with a like rule-breaking ability, and then you go and play it again. It's like, how am I supposed to do this now? Because I don't know how to do anything anymore. Next up, we have Cordycephians.
Yes.
Looks like this, kind of like a Last of Us
Yeah, that
zombie.
is a leecher. It can build on the same spaces, and it also actually benefits from building on the same spaces, so it leeches on the others. You play that one.
Yes.
And we were just 2 players. I think this is more interesting with 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting one because you kind of, it felt like in the beginning I was like, because we were just two, I was like, okay, I want to wait until you build, but I also want to block the good spaces, but then I don't get to use my ability, so it's kind of hard to balance that. But I enjoy leeching of people, so I like this one, and I think it would be like in a 4-player game, this would be fantastic. Last of the 4 new factions we have, Gibworks.
And that is a guy with the gadgets.
I don't know if it's a guy or a girl
person
or whatever.
Or a being.
A being.
A being. He wants to use. They want to use the lever many times, and you get bonuses from using the gadgets. You played with that one, so
Yeah, so you can basically every time you use the lever that you can use to get a resource or copy one of the other players' played cards or a new thing in this one expansion. You also can use a gadget, which gives you a one-time ability, and then you flip them up again when you hibernate. You start with 2 of them, and you can get more. Cool. So basically, like a final thoughts, not final thoughts, but like a conclusion.
Temporary thoughts.
Conclusion. I was what I was looking for.
I thought the ones that I play with, the cat and the
mouse,
mole.
Cat and a mole.
It was fun to play with.
Yeah, these are like adding variety. I like all of that. I think we played almost all of the factions in this game. I think we actually played all of them up to multiple times.
Not like every single one ourselves. No. Yeah.
And I think that is like adding more.
Yeah.
It's nothing here that's like, and that's good. Like it's not one that's like, oh, that is super better than everything. It's just different and giving you some tweaks and twists to how you play the game.
Yeah.
There's also like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, some things. I didn't count, so I don't know why I started counting.
No.
There's some things. There's the thing called the devotion track. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, it's basically a new kind of points.
Yeah,
that
you can get now 2 types of points, which is better than 1.
And devotion points are a little harder to come by.
Yes.
And when you climb on the devotion points track, the bonuses are pretty good.
Yes. One of them is that you can get this new type of card, which is called a Scyphoz card. And that is a colorless card, so every time you play it, it's actually not colorless like all the colors.
Joker?
You can choose which color it is when you play it for like the activation of the modules and stuff. And they also have pretty special, like pretty good abilities, and you can unlock I think 3 or 4 of them if you climb very high on the track. Every time you can draw 2 and choose 1. I really like those cards, and also there's another pretty cool bonus on that devotion track.
Yeah, you can do a free populate action, and it is a now big area, or what is it called?
Large
city.
Location.
Large location that is linked to that track. That
so there's 5 large locations now in the game, 4 on the board, and then this other one, which you can only unlock if you get there, and you can do some pretty neat things with that. There's another thing in this game now. It's lakes.
It lakes.
It lakes. It lakes. It lakes. Let's hear you talk about the lakes.
Yes, so you switch out some of the small locations, trees, with lakes instead, and you get buildings for a bonus for building nearby them with a small or a large building, and you also collect bonuses from them when you hibernate.
So it's kind of like the water spaces which are in the game from the base game. You get like a bonus the first time you build in. Adjacent to that, here you can basically get a bonus 2 times if you build both a small and a large building, and both of those bonuses will on all the lakes are 1 devotion point or 3 devotion points, and there's different bonuses when you hibernate. Did you enjoy the lakes?
Yeah, I thought they were fine, but I also thought that they weren't like mandatory to build.
No, you don't have to.
I like that. I could ignore them if I wanted to, but they make range more difficult because you can't draw range through them.
And also it makes the devotion points, like if you're going for a strategy with many devotion points, it gives you like another outlet to get a few of those throughout the game. Another way to get devotion points is the Journey card, which is basically a new kind of a quest card that you can get. And basically most of them have like 3 different tires. So you can, for example, you need to have loot crits. And if you have like 2, you get 2 devotion points. If you have 3, you get 3. And if you have 4, you get 4. And how does this work? It's a new thing. You can use a lever.
Yes, you can lose.
You lose the lever, lose the game.
You use the lever and you discard one of your active cards out of the game.
Yes.
And then you can take the journey card and you can then choose to do the things immediately or you can wait. And I like that you have to pay a card for it because the cards, you don't get super many throughout the game. So they feel it is a huge deal giving one up. But the reward is very like satisfying, but also it makes it that like you can't take a lot of them because it has a price.
And also you have to use the lever for it, which
That's
is
true.
most of the time, if you're not getting special abilities, you have to hibernate to get that. And that is one thing I really like because we have spoken about this many times. The like top decking of randomly late in the game drawing a card. Oh, I already have that 8 points, and you are mitigating that here by both, as you say, you're losing the card, which can be points or a special ability, and also you need to use the lever. So it's kind of like it's not easy to just take it there's a new one coming up. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to grab that, which make that, and also that the points aren't like huge, but it's very helpful if you try to climb on that devotion track to get those points, basically.
Yes.
There's some more stuff added here. Like these are the big things that are in the game. The devotion track, which like ties in with the journey cards and the lakes, and you have the 4 new factions, which a couple of them also interacts with the devotion track. So you have to play with that if you want to play with these. And then it adds just some more cards, some more machines, a new special machine that's like an exploding machine, a one-time machine that you use, and then you flip it over and it's a flask. And also the journey cards are flasks when you're done with them, which helps you with some different scorings and cards. And also there's some new followers, I think they're called, the new cards that you're getting that you just shuffle into the game. And those are the things that are in the game, and I feel like we spoke a bit about them, and we're going to do like, of course, the final thoughts. But first, who might this expansion be for? What do you think?
I think it adds variability. Yeah, that's why you need an expansion, essentially.
Yeah,
and I think
mostly,
and I think it serves its purpose. If you love or like Revive and you want more variability, I think this is a nice expansion to get. It doesn't change up too much. Just the way we like our expansions.
Yes. Yeah.
Keeping the core game as like it is because it's super solid, and just adding these tweaks and little things to focus on in addition to the main puzzle. I don't think it's an essential expansion in any ways. The game is like super solid as is, so it's not like it fixing anything or anything.
Are you on your way to your final thoughts?
Yes, I am. What do you think?
Because we're still not used to doing this after 2 years, and I do it all the time. You said all of it. So let's go to the final thoughts. Before that, there's something you can do to help us out. If you are new to this channel, or if you're watching it and you haven't done so yet, there is one thing you can do to help us out in a very big way, which might not seem like a big thing because it's so easy for you, but it's a very, very big way for us, a big thing for us, and that is helping us out by giving us a victory point.
And we get victory points when you click the subscribe button down there.
Subscribe!
With an S. Subscribe.
Yes.
And you can also click the bell button to get notifications every time we post a new video.
And now, final thoughts time for this expansion. You can begin because that's how it works.
I can. I think it's a great expansion. I think that when I play Revive from here on out, I might do without the expansion to change it up, but I think I will almost like 95% of the time include expansion. Yeah. Because like you have one more thing you could focus on, but you don't have to do it. Yeah. Which I really like. And I thought the new factions was cool as well. Yeah. So yeah, I like it. I think it is a good, solid expansion. So I'm going to rate the expansion 7.5.
Okay, cool.
It's weird rating expansions.
Yeah, and I think it's good because I think that I haven't played an expansion that I feel like is like essential. I think the Feast for Odin expansion, Norwegians, is kind of making that game way better for 2 people, which is the way we play it most of the time. That is might be like the expansion I'm saying, like that is one you should get if you want to play the game with 2 players. Most other expansions I have played and I've enjoyed are expansions I feel like, okay, you play the base game, you like that, you feel like you explore that, now here's something more. I don't think you need like this before you play the game a few times, but people are different.
Tuscany? I'm just
Yes,
putting
yes,
it
yes.
out there.
But people are different. Some people like to add it, and it doesn't add too much complexity, and also like it adds a bit more different parts to take, like the devotion track. You can ignore that. I don't think it's going to be a problem. If, of course, if you're going to go heavy for that big location tile, then you want to get up to 8 of those points to get that big location tile. But other than that, you can ignore most of the expansion and still win with playing like the normal game like you did. And other people might then choose to go for stuff in the expansion. And I really like that. Like it's adding a layer basically to the base game. For me, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I haven't like deep dived into the different factions yet. I don't dive like this. I don't know what that was. I don't dive. That's basically like maybe I think I'm diving like this. Oh, I'm gonna go diving now. I liked everything here. There's nothing in this expansion where I'm feeling like this didn't need to be here, and also it isn't one of those where I feel like, oh, this was just taken out of the game, because the game is enough. And then you add a little bit of complexity in this and a little bit more. I really liked it. I am going to give it an 8 for the expansion. If you like Revive and you enjoy expansions, then you're probably going to get this. That's basically like the bottom line. If you didn't like Revive, this is not going to fix that for you. It's just adding a tiny bit of layer to the game that is already there. And that is the end.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.